Construction stops at 28 degrees. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, I'm Florian Heise and welcome to another episode of Heise Says. I thought we'd have a look at this article from the Daily Mail about construction workers walking off the site when it hits 28 degrees. Seems strange, seems quite low. But before we jump to that, I want to just draw your attention to two things which I think may be related to this. Now the first is a video I did recently and called Australia's Primitive Economy. You know, it's rich, getting dumber and dumber. I've spoken about this several times and I've referred to, and I'll bring it up here, one of my favorite websites, the Observatory of Economic Complexity. I'm getting tired, guys, I need a shot of coffee. Where the complexity of our economy, what we're producing, is pretty low. But then there's another thing I want to bring up, another thing I want to mention, which is referred to in this book by Cialdini, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion. And in this book, I'm just going to make sure it's this one and not the sequel, because the second one, yes, the second one, I've got an updated version on my phone that looks a bit different. He's done two books, but in this book he refers to the anecdote of Alcoa, the story of Alcoa. Now this is a large, one of the biggest aluminium manufacturing organizations in America, and for the CEO to get changes and to get his workers to sign performance requirements, the unions were completely against it. The tactic he used was one of safety. And you'll see this persuasion technique used all the time. What about the children? What about safety? What about this? Oh, you need the government to take care of you. You can't. You know, what if someone did something wrong? Or what if someone injured themselves? He used that strategy to get the unions to sign up to these performance requirements in order to get the benefit he wanted, using safety as the method to do it. And I think we're seeing this here again, because you know, this is one thing. I wouldn't like to work in 28 degrees if it's very humid, but you kind of do it. You kind of put up with it and you do it. And this is going to, well, make our construction even more anti-competitive. So tradies will now be able to walk off the job and stop working when temperatures reach 28 degrees, giving them another 2 weeks off each year. Let me know what you think. I know we've got a whole lot of tradies watching this. Would you walk off the job if you wanted to get finished? See, this is the difference. I think the small business owners, honestly, just put up with it, keep working through to get the job done so they can invoice faster. Whereas if you're an employee, it's a little different perspective, isn't it? But you guys, let me know in the comments what you think. CFMEU has backed the policy, but critics say it's a health and safety nightmare. About 140 contractors across Queensland have agreed to implement the policy. There were 13 days in the past year where conditions that would have reached those levels in the new rule. A hot weather policy, which allows construction workers to stop work once the temperature hits 28 degrees, has sparked heated tensions between unions and industry leaders. The Construction, Forestry, Maritime, Mining and Energy Union backed the policy. However, critics have called it a health and safety nightmare, amid fears it will be exploited and cause disruptions to major construction projects in South East Queensland. Around 140 contractors and subcontractors across the region have agreed to implement the policy, including the $3.6 billion Queen's Wharf Casino and Resort project in Brisbane. The policy allows construction workers to stop work once the temperature hits 28 degrees and humidity reaches 75%. 13 days have exceeded those weather conditions in South East Queensland in the last 12 months, according to the Bureau of Meteorology data. I mean, isn't that why you're paid well as a tradie? To work in an uncomfortable situation, doing manual tasks that are hard. I thought that was the point. Okay, correct me in the comments, guys. Correct me in the comments. Let me know. Master Builders Queensland Chief Executive Grant Galvin feared the policy will be a health and safety nightmare and exploited by the CFMEU. If you applied this provision outside of South East Queensland, it's likely that no construction work will get done in a year, as Queensland is by nature hot and humid. Yes! Yes! If you apply this provision into Darwin in the NT, you wouldn't work 1 day in a year, he told Australia. I mean, guys, this seems unreasonable. Working hard is a part of life. What's the union doing? When we questioned the logic of limiting this provision to South East Queensland if it was a genuine health and safety issue, the answer we were given was the workers outside South East Queensland are more used to the higher temperature and humidity, therefore they are at less risk as they know how to manage it. Oh, you're kidding. You're kidding. So it's only here in South East Queensland because they're too dumb, according to the union, to manage the risk. I mean, come on. Wow. What can we expect, guys? That's just going to drive up the cost of this job. It's going to drive up the cost of the Queen's Wharf project. More government money wasted on these union sites. This is the thing, guys. This is the thing. It's just a cost. Rent seeking. It's no different to the potato board in Western Australia. It is the exact same thing. This is another organisation leeching on the productivity of others. That's what they're doing. Another senior industry figure accused the union of having an absolute stronghold over the industry in Queensland. And remember, this is the union that supports the brilliant regime in Venezuela. How well is that going there, guys? You know, construction started on the Queen's Wharf development this year, with a major part of the project due to open in 2022. Under agreement between Multiplex and unions, including the CFMU, workers on the project can down tools work temporarily when the temperature reaches 28 degrees and humidity is 75% or higher 3 hours or more from work starting. Work will be modified to reduce the heat exposure by rescheduling hot tasks to the cooler periods of the day, extra breaks, access to cool drinking water, ice machines and fans, and cooler installation of shade cloths. Okay, those ideas do not seem as ludicrous, but it should, the framing of it is what's concerning. And this is probably the spin of the Daily Mail. Okay? You know, another way is Multiplex reaches an agreement with the unions to provide, cooling and health and safety for their staff. I guess on a project that size, you would. And I would be shocked if they weren't doing it anyway. Cool drinks, ice buckets on the side. But then again, so in most other states, the hot weather policy applies when the temperature reaches 35 degrees, irrespective of the humidity levels. I mean, 28 doesn't seem that hot. Once the temperature reaches 35 or humidity level above 75%, there will be an orderly cessation of work and preparation for safe completion of critical tasks currently underway. A guide produced by the CFMEU states, work should be programmed in such a way as to reduce the risk of heat stress. Sufficient number of workers should be engaged to allow rotation of workers in periods of heat. A hot weather policy study published by the American Geophysical Union journal Earth's Future last year revealed that outdoor workers who will need to start before the crack of dawn in the future to avoid excess heat stress. Well, they do anyway. I mean, this is the thing. The union's putting all these requirements on there. What if you were an independent guy who wanted to work on a site and you didn't give a crap? You didn't care. You'll just drink your water, you'll get it done, you'll work through the heat. You can't anymore. They've got all these rules in place, all these requirements, because they have to take care of you. So they've limited that freedom of someone. That's the cost thing here. It sounds all good and nice and they're caring for you, but they're limiting opportunities. They're limiting someone who can handle the heat to work through and get a better outcome, get a better quality for himself, deliver work faster. That's the issue, guys. The study by researchers at the National Institute for Environmental Studies in Japan found excessive heat stress reduces the capability of physical labor and leads to economic loss. Okay, that's fine. I agree with that. But that is still a limitation on what people can do. But then again, these are closed, unionized sites, guys. They're generally 30% more expensive than any other construction project out there. So let me know what you think in the comments, guys. Do you think 28 degrees is a bit excessive? What about the humidity? Would you work through this? We've got a lot of tradies there. Would you stop? Would you stop if it got too hot? Or would you just power through and go, stuff it, I want to make my invoicing this week? Let me know what you think, guys. Like, share, and subscribe. And please, if you want to support the channel and help me make more content like this, I have a Patreon, subscribe star down below, and lots of other ways you can support me. Every little bit helps. Take care, guys, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye for now.